Hey guys, Tina here. Today I'm starting finally my Booktube-a-thon wrap-up. It's day 4 and I'm really having a blast this week. At the beginning of the week I actually thought I'm going to be doing, these daily vlogs, but I started filming and the footage disappeared and I said, you know what, I am too lazy to start over, and yes, here I am on day 4, finally deciding to actually start this wrap-up. I'm having really a good time. I'm not putting any pressure on me on how many books I read. Hopefully I will manage, at least 5, but it will be what will be. And yes, I'm really having a great time, being part of this thing that's going on, and it's really great. But yes, back to the books. On day 2, I actually finished my first book, and that's A Conspiracy of Ozma, Maggie Hall, which was my choice for the challenge of reading a book after sunset. And it was a perfect choice for that because it's really fast paced and I just flew right through it. Now, it's not mind-blowing or anything, but I really liked it, I really enjoyed it, and I will be buying the sequel, so I guess that tells you that I did enjoy it, in fact. And it tells the story of Avery, who is an average teenage girl, living with her mother, and they're moving a lot, because of supposedly of her mother's work, and, she's resigned to never really make friends, never get attached to anyone, because they will be moving again, and she doesn't want to really, have her heart broke or anything like that. So, yes, she's at this school now, and a boy called Jack shows up, and he's really cute, and she really likes him, and he asks her to the prom, and, her mother forbids it, but Avery decides to go anyways. And yes, and once they're at the prom, another hot guy shows up called Stellan, and it turns out that these two boys are connected to her father's family, and Avery, thinking that her father is dead all this time, is curious, and she flies to Paris with Stellan, and the story takes off from there. This is, I've heard it described as Da Vinci Code for young adult audience. And it is, it's adventurous. There's always all these clues, ancient prophecies, there's always something to explore. And yeah, it's, sort of like that in that regard. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say about it. If you're into this kind of stuff, it's a light read, it's enjoyable, and if you're curious, pick it up and see what you think about it. On day 3, I finished The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. This was my pick for a book that you discovered for Booktube, and it tells the story of Irene, who works in this library, that's between worlds, sort of, and their mission is to get special editions from different universes, alternate worlds. When there's a different edition than in the other worlds, they go and pick it up and add it to their library. And Irene is sent on this mission with her apprentice Kai to pick one of the books by Brothers Grimm in this alternate world where there are a lot of vampires, werewolves, fairies, steampunk. It's a really interesting world. And yes, when she gets there, she discovers that the book is missing, the owner is dead, and there's all this stuff happening, and she gets to explore that, and it's a mystery, and it's a lot of fun to read. The world sort of reminded me of the world of Gail Carriger, because of the characters and stuff like that, but it's not, this book is definitely not as humorous, so don't pick it up expecting it to be like that. But it was really enjoyable. I loved it. I'm gonna be picking up the sequels definitely. Irene is a really interesting character. She's this strong female character that she does stuff on her own. She's independent. She doesn't like when people tell her what to do, and I really liked her. And yes, she's obsessed with Sherlock Holmes. And yes, I cannot wait to pick up the sequel. On day 3, I started and finished White Sand by Brandon Sanderson. This is for the challenge of reading a book by one of your favorite authors, and this is definitely it. This is a graphic novel based on one of his epic fantasies that is still unpublished, and maybe, I don't know, it never will be, I'm not sure. It's the story of Kenton, who lives in this world where there, a lot of the world is made out of desert, and there are these sand mages that can control this sand, and he wants to be part of that group. His father is the main guy, the master, and Kenton really wants to impress him, and he cannot do that. He's always considered a failure, in his father's eyes. And yes, this is his story. It tells the story also of other characters that live in this world from other parts of the world that come here. And I cannot really say too much because this is a short volume and it's just the beginning of the story, and if I reveal too much you're going to be completely spoiled. If you know, if you're a fan of Brandon Sanderson, definitely pick this up. This is a part of a Cosmere, so it's going to be crucial at some point, I guess. And yes, I really liked it. I'm not a huge reader of graphic novels, mostly because they're freaking expensive, and I can't, you know, I'm not willing to actually. I could afford them, but I really do not want to afford them because, come on, they're too expensive. And the libraries here don't really hold all these popular titles. So, you know, I don't really read them that much. So this was, you know, Brandon Sanderson. So it's an exception. So yeah. But yeah, I really liked it. It was interesting. It was fun. And definitely a perfect read for a Booktube-a-thon, you know, for a readathon and, you know, of any kind. So yeah, go check it out. On day 5, I finished Howls Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This was my pick for read a book and then watch a movie adaptation of it. And it was great. You know, this Booktube hypes a lot of books, and in my experience I've maybe liked half of them as much as Booktube did, and the rest not so much. So I was kind of like, you know, not entirely sure when I was starting this one on which side of the spectrum I'm gonna be. Although I have to say I don't think I've ever heard a bad review of Howl's Moving Castle, so that was a plus. And yes, I really liked it. This is a story of Sophie, who is the eldest of 3 daughters, and as such her fate is to be unsuccessful. You know, if she starts anything, it's basically doomed, you know. So she's resigned to work at her, you know, family's hat shop, and that was to be her life. And she's a pretty timid character. She's not really daring at all. And yeah, then things happen because, you know, the Witch of the Waste comes and she turns her into an old lady. And it's really interesting how, you know, that's changes Sophie in the sense that, you know, basically in life, you know, when you're young, you're more scared, you're more concerned about what people think about you, stuff like that. And, you know, as you get older, those things usually are not really as... you know, you're not really as concerned about them, you know, as you get older. And we see that change in Sophie like instantly, because suddenly she's old, she's like 90, and she's really springy and, you know, healthy, and she's really not like a decrepit old lady, but she's really she has a lot of energy, and, you know, it's fun to watch her do stuff. And yes, it's really interesting to see this change in her because, you know, she's suddenly like a different character, you know. She just had this tremendous character arc, you know, and development, and like in a few pages, and it was really cool. Yes, and, you know, she leaves the hat shop, and she travels. I mean, she goes away from the town or the village where she lives, and yes, she runs into Howl's Moving Castle, which is this castle where the wizard Howl lives. And the castle moves around the countryside, and it's carrying people in her village because apparently Howl is this bad guy who seduces girls and eats their hearts and stuff like that. And yes, but, you know, she's an old lady, what can he do to her? So she just enters the castle, and the adventure takes off from there. I really liked it. I liked all the characters. Calcifer was my favorite, you know, the fire demon. Howl was maybe the most annoying because he's really immature. He's really concerned about his looks, and he's all about seducing the ladies and, you know, then dumping them basically. And yes, I really liked it. It was really enjoyable, magical story, and it was such a relief, you know, because it's day 5. Oh, well, today's day 6 actually when I'm filming this, and I'm really tired of reading, if you can believe that. I never thought I'm going to say that, but I am. And it was a really nice, you know, interlude. But, you know, it's not serious. It was an enjoyable read, and it's helped me get, you know, through well, another challenge anyways. So in the evening then I watched the movie. Oh, I'm not really sure how I feel about it because I'm not like loving it. I'm liking it, but there were a few changes that were made, and it didn't really impress me as much as other people. You know, people seem to really like it, and I'm not really in that camp. So, I love the book, not the movie. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to think about it. You know, maybe it was a problem that I just read the book and then went straight into the movie because my thoughts on the book weren't clear yet. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my opinion. I'll see. I know. If I do, I will definitely let you know. So that was day 5, and day 6. I'm starting to. I think I'm going to start the Gospel of Loki. I'm not sure because it's day 6, and I would like to read something light. My concentration is diminishing, and I'm not sure if I'm up to the Gospel of Loki, but I will definitely try it. I would like to finish at least one book, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to finish the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is a really short one, and I would be really embarrassed if I didn't finish at least that one. So yeah, I'm going for books 5, to read 5 books. If I manage 6, I will be impressed with myself. 7, I don't think at this point is really an option anymore. So yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna update you. Day 7 is coming to an end. There's a few hours left here, but I'm done with reading. I will make no more progress, I'm pretty sure, and I just decided to film the end of this wrap up and upload it, and let you guys know what I actually managed to read. What I did end up reading is the book that is older than me, and that is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I ended up really liking this. I knew the gist of it, but I never really read it, and I probably saw an adaptation, a movie, a TV show, I'm not sure, but I really am not sure, and I would like to see one now, definitely. And I ended up really liking this book. It reminded me really a lot of The Picture of Dorian Gray. And has anyone else experienced that? Probably because I'm not a special case. I really liked it, and I cannot wait to read some more by Robert Louis Stevenson. And yes, I also started another book, which is The Gospel of Loki by Joanne Harris. This is the book, that was supposed to be for the challenge of read a book with yellow on the cover, and this barely fits, but it does. And it tells the story of the Norse mythology through the eyes of Loki, who is a really not a narrator dude you can trust, but he's enjoyable, and like a quarter, at the quarter mark, and I still have lots, of the book left, and I'm definitely not gonna finish it. Hopefully, the next week, but not today. So yeah, this is it. This is basically the end of my Booktube-a-thon. I also didn't manage to read which book. Curses and Conspiracies by Gail Carriger, which was to be my book number 7 for the last challenge. But come on, let's face it, that was a bit, wishful thinking for me to actually get that far. Yeah, so I did I've read 5 books, which is great. It's enough. It's enough. I'm actually quite tired of reading right now. I don't feel like. Towards the end, I was actually kind of, I don't want to read anymore, which is not something I actually ever thought I'm going to experience, but I did. And I figured, you know what, yeah, it happens. What can you do? I also really liked this week. I enjoyed it so much. I loved watching everybody do their videos, their vlogs, their daily challenges. It was such a joy to see all, the whole community coming together and participating, which is great. I'm kind of I'm disappointed that I didn't even try one of the video challenges, but I just wanted to read. But I think a few breaks in between, would be good. So maybe next year I'll definitely try that. And hopefully by then my editing skills will be, faster, and also my skill with editing will be better. So yeah, it won't take me as long to do anything. And yeah, what else? I really cannot wait, for next year, but yeah, I'm kind of tired right now of this Booktube-a-thon, and well, there's one, baby Booktube-a-thon in December usually, so I will try to participate in that, but until then, that's it for my Booktube-a-thon wrap-up, and thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye!